Dylan, thanks for coming.
Of course, man.
Dylan, I can never pronounce your last
It's
name.
Nostrand.
Okay, Nostrand, Nostrand.
Norstrand, it's
yeah,
everything.
it's all messed up, man. I've been having a lot of Ohio people on, and what did we schedule this? What, 2 weeks ago?
You even
A
asked
week
me
ago?
to come up on here for 6 weeks, and
Yeah, it's been
So,
so.
like, yeah, it's
I'm
been-
glad that our schedules. Cause I know you're super busy with work and everything, and
Yeah.
life in general just gets in everybody's way.
yeah, I'm sure. I mean, same.
But yeah, it's crazy. But for the people that don't know you, you want to just introduce yourself and tell people where you're from, what you do, just whatever.
Yeah. My name's Dylan Nostrand. I used to do a lot on social media, but recently, probably the last year or so, I've been kind of cut off of it. But I'm a ODNR Parks and Watercraft officer down in the state of Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm primarily watercraft, so I deal with all the OVIs, boat accidents, the non-fun stuff. I'm the
The
no fun
abuse
guy.
on the boats
Yeah.
instead of waiting to get home.
I'm also a perch, smallmouth, and walleye charter. So
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that because I got some questions about that too. Because you started that recently, right?
yeah, I got my
years
guide
ago?
license a year and a half ago, but like I've been running for different people. I don't have my own company yet. But
I gotcha.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
I don't know, big hunter, big fisherman. Pretty much, I'm a mixed bag. The way we met was hilarious. It was kind of like through another buddy, Sean, that you had
Yeah.
on here, and
Yeah, up
like-
north, right?
yeah, it
Or
was
no?
like
Yeah, that was the first time.
Yeah, I didn't even know you, and you're like,
Yeah.
hey, Dylan, this guy's gonna come stay with us.
Yeah, up. Yep, yep. All staying in the same camper, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm not a very interesting person. Besides, we all have the same passion, and
That's what it's about, though. At the end of the day,
yeah, no, like I said, I haven't seen you in probably over a year, and
yeah, it's been a while. It's been way too long. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And we've talked a few times here and there, or Snapchat or whatever it is, but it's definitely been way too long since we've hung out or done whatever. It's same thing with like even Sean and those guys down there. It's close, but just life.
I mean, dude, an hour can sometimes make a difference between
Right.
hopping. Oh, and I also work weekends.
Right.
So-
You work. Yeah. Yeah. You
so-
work. You do work a lot.
I work weekends, so I have the opposite schedule of you and Sean and
Right.
everybody else. So it makes it difficult to get out.
Right. What made you get into doing what you do? What was it like the process? Because I know I talked to a lot of people that like up here in Michigan, and it seems like, from what I've heard anyway, it's just getting harder and harder and harder to get into DNR position or working watercraft or whatever. I mean, what was your thought process on getting into it?
Well, I was trying to find a career. Like anybody, I didn't really want to work,
Right.
and I didn't have any. I didn't
9 to
have any
5 office job.
Yeah, I wanted to work outside. I wanted to be around the outdoors. So I went to college for it. I actually went and played college football at first at a small school and played football and had some other degree that I didn't care about and was like, man, this is not for me. So I took off and went to a small school in Southern Ohio and got my 2-year degree. The degree was natural resources law enforcement, and now I'm a natural resources officer. Yeah, it's a route that it's a job that if you like being in the outdoors,
Mm-hmm.
it's awesome. But like what I found was it kind of sucks to be writing violations of people that you're like have the same passions
I
with.
wish that was me out there instead of you.
Yeah.
Not getting a ticket, but like
Man, like
going out there and hanging out on the boat all weekend
yeah,
long.
dude.
and
Oh yeah, because you'd be like, hey, we're going up to the sandbar this weekend. You want to come? And I'm like,
gotta
yeah,
work.
I gotta work, and I have to go work sandbars looking for drunk people.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm glad you're not working up here. No.
No, you probably wish I was, because I'm super lenient.
No, I was telling the guy that was here earlier that we were talking to. He's like, see a dick down there? I was like, no, dude. He's probably one of the chillest guys that you'll run into out there. And
I haven't
that is
written a
what it
ticket
is.
since June.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, how does that go with you guys? You guys have like a quota, I guess you want to say, like, or just kind of.
Nope. I have a quota of vessel safety inspections, so I have to go out and just literally inspect boats, not write tickets.
Now, is that monthly or like a
It's yearly, and it's how we get funding through the Coast Guard. So in Ohio, if you come down there and bring your boat, we do courtesy inspections at the boat ramp.
So you could probably get them all knocked out during walleye season.
Yeah. So, I mean, during walleye season, like basically from, if we don't have ice,
Right.
February,
People are out there year round.
yeah. So our boat ramps, I mean, especially being down there. I know
Right.
you guys are busy. You guys get good fishing up here, but
Yeah.
Port Clinton's like known for their fishing, and I love it, dude. I go down there and talk to fishermen about fishing for every day.
I wanted to talk about that too because I seen a video not too long ago about walleye tracking,
Yeah.
and I think it was out of Port Clinton, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
or I think it was Port Clinton. They got a big walleye statue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
Yeah. So it's Port
Clinton.
Clinton. They do a walleye. They put trackers in the walleye and they send it out every year where people can view them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about any of that?
Yeah. I mean, it's
Because I've been looking for that because I feel like in the future wise, or if you could look previous years, you could always kind of find an idea of like where to look or the fish are here this time of year. Kind of, you know what I mean? Better
yeah.
research.
Well, luckily for the recent years, our walleye they travel in the springtime. They're coming from the east and they're coming west to spawn.
Mhm.
That's their goal. The river runs down in Ohio are really big. Like obviously, it's like the Detroit River.
Right.
So they come up in the river. They're coming in to spawn, but it's only I think it was like 20% of the fish actually go to the rivers to spawn. You still got all the reefs out in the middle of the lake that they're still spawning on. When I'm bass fishing, dude, I catch my limit walleye every day in the spring.
No kidding.
Yeah, I catch my limit every day. I throw them back, but like those fish are up on top of all the other little reefs. Anywhere that there's a mixture, like they have good, good ground to spawn onto. They don't need to go in the river. So yeah, the spring run's big, but there's still fish spawning everywhere, and so those fish are coming west after they spawn. They're going east, and it's broken down to into the oxygen level of the water.
Mm-hmm.
So when the water starts to depreciate with oxygen levels, those fish are following that in bait fish.
Right. So it's not up here. I guess I was always just under the assumption of like, the bait fish, and it's obviously got something huge to do with it. But I never even thought about like the oxygen levels and everything.
That's the main. Honestly, that the depreciation of water. I'm missing the technical term for it, but like when the oxygen levels are depreciating, those fish are moving out because the bait fish are moving out. They want that colder water, the higher oxygen.
Makes sense.
This time, like in the springtime, it's cold. We have cold
Right.
water, so that oxygen levels like perfect. The bait fish are here; they're spawning here. Now, don't get me wrong; it's like hunting. You got your local birds and you got your migrators.
Yeah, and and that even like deer season wise, like the movement and stuff like that. I guess you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean our movement of like walleye and waterfowl are pretty similar when it comes to their migration movements, and they're going to come in and spawn, and then they're going to take off. But you're always going to have local. You can catch walleye all year round up here.
Yeah,
even by me. Ohio DNR last year did a report on our smallmouth. Like our smallmouth are traveling 80 miles, 100 miles.
no kidding.
Yeah, they did a study last year. ODNR did where they were tagging smallmouth that were they were caught in Canada or around the Bass Islands. They were brought into the Sandusky Bay Shelby Street boat ramp.
Okay.
And they're tagging them, and those fish are traveling all the way back up to Canada. And then they find out that these fish are bumping back and forth, coming
That's
here to
insane.
spawn, and then going back to Canada. So, but yeah, it all has to do with the oxygen levels, and then the bait fish. Like the bait fish prefer better, oxygen levels, than those,
So-
those fish follow them.
Where do I know most people like are curious about this, like because you're largemouth, I guess. I know you're big smallmouth and walleye.
Yeah.
Where are the largemouth going in the summertime? Because obviously they're getting weeded out by all the weeds in the canals and all that other stuff. So I mean,
Oh, dude, largemouth, they live in that grass. It's like, so there's different types of grass, and like coontail, and then like there's some other different types. But those fish, they'll live inside the grass because it'll be cooler in there, and vice versa in the winter. They're going to
Makes
live in the
sense, yeah.
grass. They're going to because that temperature is more controlled.
right.
They also move into deeper water, but like the largemouth fishing on Lake Erie, dude, is awesome.
Oh, I wish I think when we first met, I was doing it a lot out here, and then I
In the
really
marinas
slowed
and
down.
stuff.
Yeah, I really slowed down. I mean, right outside the room here.
Dude, the marinas on this lake are loaded.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
In the springtime.
Yeah,
but
no, for sure. And going back to walleye wise, like there's a lot of people around here that are kind of freaking out about, we had Edison and stuff. Edison shut down. That was keeping the rivers open.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so everybody's freaking out that, excuse me, it's going to change the pattern of the walleye with the temperatures and everything else like that. I don't personally think so, just because it's almost like, how long have they been doing it for and nothing's changed?
So, Lake Erie, it's water, like you're going to have completely new water every 3 years in Lake Erie. You're getting that much water coming from the Detroit River.
Really? I didn't even know that.
So every 3 years you're getting all new water in Lake Erie.
Wow.
Yeah, so like just because they shut down a plant, maybe that, that small area
right
will slow down. Yeah, maybe, because they're not going to have that flow.
They'll have the flow still in the river just because of the pinch points. I mean, the water's still going to consistently flow.
Okay, so
but the coal plants that are shutting down along the riverside, they're shooting out that hot water. So in the wintertime,
so you're going to lose those fish. Yeah. So,
right.
Oh, I think I know. I have a buddy, Jordan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think he fishes those hot water discharges, and they bass
fish
them
down south of us here.
Yes, they fish those all winter, and they catch largemouth walleye.
Yep.
Those small areas will change like 100%, but the flow you're getting from the Detroit River,
I don't think it's going to change the fishing in the springtime.
No, but like that small area, yeah, it's going to change.
Right.
Like Lake Erie has like a 2-mile-an-hour current in it year round. People don't realize there's current out here. But
yeah, no, that's Lake Erie. Like it's I think 2.5, almost 3 miles an hour on the surface, but people don't realize they'll jump in, and that undertow is even crazier.
Yeah, like we've had there's a beach in Ohio, excuse me, on the Huron River, that we've had 3 fatals from undertows.
Yeah, I believe it.
If we get a northeast wind and then you get that current, it literally works as like down in Florida.
Yeah,
it pulls people out. But I was listening to your podcast with the Stoke. What's his first name? Troy Stokes.
Troy Stokes.
Troy.
Yep.
I mean, Troy's he sounds like a hammer.
Oh, he's a wild dog, that's for sure.
But if you're fishing on Lake Erie right now, you're fishing Canada, dude. You got to be in that better water, which is going to be the higher oxygenated water. You're looking for the thermocline. The thermocline, those fish are going to be sitting just above, because you're not going to find smallmouth lower than the thermocline. You're not going to find walleye below the thermocline. They want to be just above it. So
I feel like we should have had him in here because you guys could have talked. Well, maybe not, because I feel like you guys could have talked for hours.
You probably wouldn't
on
even.
that.
Yeah, we'd be sitting here talking about fishing all night, not even bringing up hunting. But
I'd be out there playing pool and doing whatever else.
It's and don't get me wrong. It sounds like your buddy Troy. The road he's going right now, he thinks he's getting a later start. That's kind of where I'm at. I want to be fishing for a living, bass fishing. That's what I want to do. But financially, dude, you have to be
Well, that's what we talked about too, because there's some, I forget what the levels of the circuits and everything are. And I was just talking to some of the family today about it. It's you have to have that money for your gas and traveling, and if you're not full time and invested into this fishing world, you're not going to make it anywhere. So Troy, he was full time, then he went part time, and now he's talking about going, just full time fishing.
Yeah.
You need to, if you're going to get anywhere, just because of the fact that, like he was saying, you have to be able to pre-fish. You have to be able to figure out different waters and understand stuff.
And you're not getting paid to do that.
Right.
Unless you got the sponsorship, and any more sponsorships, all social media. They don't give a crap about.
I want to say he talked about that in the pod with the social media standpoint. There was a couple places that he didn't have the amount of followers and stuff like that, and then now you got the guys that are buying verifications and buying followers and this, that, and the other, which we do have a buddy that I forgot to tell you about earlier, that I want to say he just bought a ton of followers.
Did you really?
Yeah. We can talk about it afterwards.
You can drop the name after the after we stop recording.
But it's just even that though alone, it's got to be so much harder to just get your name out there when there's a bunch of these fake accounts out there going on, and they're not true followers, they're not true people even following you. They're from Lithuania or whatever it is, way out there.
When did you start this podcast?
Oh, this podcast we started. So
Yeah, you guys were like off and on with this whole branding thing for a while. You guys started a long time ago, but then you
well,
guys
so
took a
the
break and
the Great Lakes, me and Trav started in 16
right, yeah, that
in
sounds,
college. And yeah, we took a break and stuff, and this, that, and the other. You know, we had more people, and they dropped out, and we kept on going with it. I got invited to do a podcast last August
mm-hmm.
with the guy that, you know, we were doing a podcast together for a while under his page.
Yeah,
His page went underneath with some problems, some personal problems that he had,
yeah,
and then we I forget how many episodes we did. We did quite a bit of episodes, and he was more to the deer side. I was more to the waterfall side. I was doing like waterfall Wednesday, and then I was gonna do like walleye Wednesday and stuff like that.
yeah.
When all the personal stuff came about, I bought all the equipment from him, and so this is. I think we only have 8 or 9 episodes out as of right now.
So like what I was going with that though is that like maybe you have a later start compared to some other podcasts, but like
Right.
dude, if you're genuine and you're putting out good information for these people, like
Right.
people appreciate that, dude. Even if you can give someone one tip, they're like,
Right.
I didn't know that.
Well, that's the kind of the goal, because
Yeah.
I was telling one of the family members today that I seen that we're just here to not like make a living off of it,
Mm-hmm.
but obviously it'd be nice to. But we're also just here to like teach people like the right and wrong ways of doing stuff, and you know, some of these people that we've had in and been on the phone with, it's just not the listeners that are learning; it's me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like we had Tanner and Brad in. They hunt 8 different states for turkeys every year, so that's just different.
Hammers.
Like, oh, dude, it's insane, absolutely insane.
Yeah.
But like, you're just learning for yourself in different situations, and you know that's
Yeah.
what I'm getting out of it.
Oh,
You
dude,
know what I
like
mean?
you can learn in this stuff literally every day, and I trying to like stay in line with that. Like, I don't know if anyone's asked you this, maybe you have, but like, what's your goal? Like, with this, with like, do you want to guide? Do you want to?
So I've been asked a lot. Well, let me backtrack.
Yeah. So like, what's your goal with like all your hunting stuff? Like, do you want to?
I don't want to guide. I don't want to do any of that stuff.
Okay.
I've been asked a lot to help out with guiding,
Yeah.
or I've been accused of guiding, and people telling farmers that I'm guiding, and they're trying to like just backdoor the farm, like just putting a bad name on me. You know what I mean? The dog's back here.
Sage,
Yeah.
I have a Chessie laying next to me, and she's the biggest complainer in the world.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah.
there's been a ton of people and rumors that have been going around, and people saying that I'm guiding, I'm taking people out, making money off people's properties that the farmers don't know about. Completely not true, because I don't want to turn this into a job.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like, obviously, if it became like the podcast or apparel, something along those lines, yeah. But
But you're not trying to make money off all of this. You just enjoy doing it, pretty much.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, like the
Okay.
hunting and stuff like that, I can't. What am I going to do? Charge my sister, my dad, or any other family members or buddies that are coming out there? You know, because obviously you've been out there with us.
Oh, dude.
We got a fairly big crew.
Yeah, for anybody out here wondering, he's definitely losing money on this.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Like,
100%.
I've been there, and like, and this goes into another thing that we were going to talk about. Well, like, you know, I know how much effort you guys are putting in, your
Right.
buddies are putting in, your dad, everybody. You know, from the 4-wheeler to the trailer to, dude, I was there with you guys up in the, you know, up at your, you know, cabin up in there in
Mhm.
Michigan, and you guys didn't have a ton yet, but like that year, you guys like really
Right.
got the trailer, you got all
Yeah.
the decoys, and like you and I haven't hunted. We didn't hunt at all last year.
No.
I don't even know if we're gonna hunt this year. If we do, great. If we don't,
I hope so. I hope to get you and Sean out there and Al, because like there was even a lot of times last year where it's like, man, I wish those guys were out here like
well, yeah,
talking and you know what I mean. Like there's things where in every hunter and fisherman's like career where like for me wise, nobody else is really out there scouting. Like it's we have 8 guys in our group, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm the only one out there scouting. I'm the only one, and granted, there might be some guys out there here and there that go out, but nobody's going out there right now and at the perfect time. Everybody's got lives. I get it. Like, they got kids, they got this going on.
Yeah, but so do you.
it.
But you're the only one out here actually talking to farmers, getting the permission,
right.
building the blinds.
That's what's tough about it all.
So,
because, it's a second job. You know what I mean?
But like a guy like me, Sean, Al, like, the infamous, like, here comes the hunting buddies that, like,
Right.
you haven't heard from all year, and they're like, hey, when are we going hunting?
Right.
If you don't say I don't get a text from you this year,
Right.
dude, I get it. Like, I would never hold it against you for not coming up here because I'm not here helping you, and that bothers me.
Well, see, that's where, like, a lot of people say that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where, like, this year I'm going to try to change it a little bit. It's not guiding, because like I said, I don't want to make it a job, but I'm going to have people, like, throw me $20 for a hunt or something just for gas miles, or like putting gas in my truck, or whatever it is, just to help me out with it all. But like, I don't really care about like
the people you got to ask for money though, dude. Those aren't, because the guys that do
that's
want
what's
to,
tough about
the
it
guys
too.
that do, they'll throw you $20.
That's what's
you
tough.
won't even have to ask.
Right.
But
And
the guys that don't give you anything,
right. Well,
that's-
because the problem becomes is, well, I did this for you and did that for you, so I don't really need to do this or that. You know what I mean? So
Well,
it
like-
gets tough. But like, I don't need, like, I got so much going on during the work, like the week with work and trying to figure out what post to make for the page, or for what podcast I'm doing this week, or what are we going to upload this week, or whatever it may be. And I got so much else going on. Like, if you want to hunt, just text me, because obviously you've been there. I don't care how many guys go out there. I don't care about,
well, not usually
who's
enough
going
birds
out
everyone
there.
can shoot.
As long as I got the birds for it, I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm good.
Yeah.
No, we were talking about invites to the field. My biggest thing with the invites is, like, I got so much going on during the week. I don't care if somebody texts me, because odds are I'm probably going to forget who. Say I told you Monday or Tuesday that I was going to come out this weekend or whatever. Or I'll get a hold of you, or just text me. Don't feel weird with, like, getting a hold of me. I'll come out whenever. I really don't care,
Yeah.
Like we talked about, so many people already in the group. I just want everybody to have a good time.
Oh, dude, and like, I'm not coming up here just like, I guess that's the difference. Is like, I'm not coming up here because, like, I want to shoot our limit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to, like, come up and hang out and hunt, because
Right.
I've had plenty of hunts with you where we didn't shoot dick, and
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I
Right.
just came up to hang out and hunt, but like, back home, like, I would invite people,
Right.
but I don't have, dude, like, where I live now,
Do you still have those hot ponds down there?
yeah, I don't have them.
No.
No,
Sucks.
and the farmers I have like 7 fields I can hunt.
Uh-huh.
Dude, 3 years in a row, I had like 400 birds on them the day before opening day,
Gone.
and he tilled it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why I'm so lucky and, like, so thankful with farmers that we have. I think we talked about it earlier. Maybe we didn't. We had wheat. Wheat grew up a little bit. He cut it again for me. Wheat grew up again. He cut it again for me. Like, you just can't. I feel so, like, spoiled, I guess, just the way that, the little that I do compared to what he does for us. It's super grateful for it. Super grateful for it. Yeah, I don't know. Just, like, even this year, though, don't feel weird. Don't feel awkward. Don't feel anything towards it. But no, everything's like with the people. I don't care who comes out. Just text me, and let's burn some birds in the weekend.
Yeah,
and,
dude.
But like you said, though, the key is you're hunting. You're not killing. You're going out there to have fun. You're supposed to. You don't come out just because we have a good field. You know what I mean? It's like it's that kind of stuff that makes it different.
And just having good people around you.
Right.
Yeah, having good people,
Right.
good friends. But, yeah, I mean, as we start transitioning into fall time here, we start getting some colder, nights and stuff. for all you bass fishermen and hunters,
Yeah.
you know, I would say our birds are patterning just like the bass, just like the walleye. You know, they're all going to start pushing the same way. Like colder temperatures, you're still going to have your locals. You're still going to have, but you're going to start seeing these migrators coming in here. And
Well, that was what was even surprising. This past weekend. This past weekend was the second weekend of season for us.
yeah, you guys run you guys are like open till you guys
End
open
of September
okay
for early season.
Yeah, because we only have like we're done.
2 weeks, I think you guys.
Yeah,
have,
we're
something
real
like that?
short. Yeah.
So we have 2 weeks 2 weekends on the teal for us down here, but
Have you killed any teal?
we didn't even go out.
Mosquitoes, dude, are so
Yeah,
bad.
that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But last year we went out quite a bit, and we just, I don't know, busy like we were talking about. Last year we didn't do any teal hunting, or last year we did do a lot of teal hunting. This year we didn't do any teal hunting. I'm all scrambled now because of all this mic stuff.
No, yeah, you're good. So you guys didn't kill any teal this year, or you didn't kill last year?
No teal. But we got this cold front that was super early this year in the second weekend. The first weekend we were up north, it was still 90 degrees, whatever it was. We get down here, it drops down to I think it was like 50s in the morning or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, we already seen snows flying over top of us this year and everything. So I mean, those early molts have already hit. I mean, one of our buddies killed a band out of Moosonee or however you say that up in Canada.
Oh, really?
That was banded this year. Already, so it's already made the flight path down. Like it already flew down already. So I mean, it's just kind of crazy. But then you got your, like for us down here, we'll have our calendar birds that'll start pouring in, and I don't know, a week or two, I'd say, when the silage starts coming down, and we'll start getting more and more.
Yeah, no, dude, like it's been a weird year for me, hunting and fishing wise. And like that, and this is something that since you and I are in that younger age group and we're seeing this, like, what do you think of our generation when it comes to hunting and fishing? Like, it's good people are out doing it.
That's a very tough question.
Because, dude, I see guys, like, they buy a bass boat just to go on Instagram and post about how fast they're going or, like, the limits. But, like, they take a video of, like, backflipping or slapping a 4-pound smallmouth in the water. Or
right.
Shooting bands just to shoot bands. They don't give a crap about the band.
Well, I'll say one thing, that social media is a good and bad thing.
Right.
It's good for, I mean, just like anything else, it depends on how you do it, right? It depends on how you use it. Depends on, what you're posting out there.
Yeah.
But it also depends on, like, who really cares and who doesn't. Like, if you're a person that doesn't care or not trying to be a helpful person, I guess, in like the industry or whatever, like that's one thing. But example like this, it's also a good thing to get the right word out there, get to meet with the right people and instructional purposes of everything. But there are a lot of people that are just going out there for the bands now, or the piles, or don't care about the fish, just care about the likes on social media.
Or they shoot a bunch of geese and throw them in the dumpster when they get done.
Oh, yeah.
I see that a lot, unfortunately, I feel like, with our guys. Like, they don't get their limit, and so now they're mad. Like, don't get me wrong, dude. I love going out and banging a 10-man limit. Like, our first year hunting together, I think we did 4 10-man plus limits. Like, it was
the first year was crazy, and me and Sean talked about that hunt that we had down there, where I got to actually like meet everybody for the first time.
Oh yeah, which was cool because honestly, all those dudes
were all new guys
and all social media,
and it worked perfect.
And we all met through social media, and like I would have not known any of them.
No,
without it. Besides Sean, I met Sean through the gym.
Yeah, I met Sean through actually this page, through Great Lakes page.
Oh really?
Yeah. That's how, so he started texting us like when I was a year or two maybe into the waterfowl, because I haven't really been doing it that long.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, dude, this spot, this spot, this spot." I'm like, "Dude, I don't even know what you're talking about right now."
Right.
Like what? Because he's Sean is a very knowledgeable guy with like birds and he knows a lot of he knows a lot of stuff with it all.
Dude,
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
He's been goose hunting as long as we've been alive.
Right, exactly.
So like he's
But
gonna know.
when he's mentioning like or saying this stuff, it's like, dude, I really don't know what you're talking about right now. I don't know where you're talking about. Are you in a different country? Like, what are you talking about? But we just started talking, and we have the relationship that we have now,
Yeah.
and we've had conversations just like me and you have, where I'll call him for advice for even just life situation stuff. But that's the good thing about social media as well, like just reaching out and you do find those good people.
Yeah.
Um,
And I will support like guys like you, guys like me, like branding themselves, dude.
Right.
I am all in.
Right.
I will help you financially. Like, I'm definitely gonna buy a couple hats or like if you guys had sweatshirts or whatever you guys
we do.
have.
I got some in here.
Yeah,
I got
so
some
like,
in here.
but like, I wouldn't expect you to give me that stuff for free.
And that's a whole different thing too.
If you like support somebody, like I'm gonna start my own small full-time guiding business next summer.
Okay.
Not full-time.
That's exciting.
Yeah. I'm gonna start smallmouth fishing on my boat. I got a 20.
That's
I'm gonna start doing
exciting.
that when I can, and yeah, it's gonna be tough. Like, I'm probably only gonna post, probably 6 days a month, but
That's not bad though. I mean,
I can't like my friends. I would hope wouldn't be like,
they take me out for free.
hey, take me out for free. Now,
Right.
if I'm going out fun fishing, I would take.
Right.
I'm going out either way. You can come with me. We'll go fishing.
Right.
But like, there at some point, you have to like break away from that. Like, you have the people that are down to support you. Like,
Right. Well, and that's the thing. Like everybody, it's like, oh, give me a shirt, give me a hoodie. It's like, all right, dude. Like, I hope you know, like, if I give you this, I'm gonna be in the hole. Like,
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're gonna wear it and support it and like show it off and stuff.
Yeah, and there's parts of that does help.
For the right people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for us being so fresh with like or so new with apparel and like we don't even have our hats in yet, but you can't put yourself in a negative hole, and people can't get mad at you for that. Like if you're gonna support by buying something and helping out, like
You'd buy Sika gear, you might as well buy your buddy's hat.
Well,
You know what I mean? Like,
I mean that's the same thing with like the scouting though. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
like you say you take somebody out fishing,
yeah.
throw me some gas money for the boat.
Right, yeah. And like again, I don't expect it. But the buddies that are like, "Hey bro, here's 20 bucks."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
"Man."
I don't expect it, but like
But the people that do know how much effort, and time you've put into this are like, dude, it's not a thought.
not a problem.
Not
right.
a problem.
Right.
you
And it
know?
gets tough though because then like I think like there's people go through hunting groups and you got to find your right people that you can trust and stuff like that with everybody goes through like something with waterfowl especially because
It's dramatic.
it's such a dramatic
Oh
thing,
my
dude.
lord.
Such
dude.
a dramatic.
Yeah, I've until like a couple years ago, I didn't realize like the drama.
Oh, yeah.
It's water. It's not. No, there isn't that in fishing, duck hunting and goose hunting.
It's bad.
Dude, you got guys that'll burn
Right.
people on fields.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite hunts, honestly, is when you and I were out there. We had 10 or 11 people, and that other group just showed up expecting to hunt.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And guess what? We burned them that day.
We did burn them, and then I just told somebody the same story. I think it was the guys that we hunted with Sunday.
Yeah.
They pull up to the field at 7:00, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna either hunt with you, 100 yards away from you, or with you."
Yeah.
And we're like, "I guess you're hunting with us then. Like, you're not really giving us an option because, like, you have two options in my opinion. You're either going to hunt with the people if they're cool enough to let you hunt with them,
Yeah.
or you got beat to the spot." Hopefully you got a plan B because if not, don't be that guy that's going to force your way and ruin a hunt for both of you guys.
No, yeah. But they're that's the thing we were talking about earlier, the generation thing.
Right.
There are people in our generation that have no problem ruining your hunt just because you got the field first.
Yeah, and that sucks because you know who it really ruins is the farmers
Yeah. And
because they don't want to deal with that.
no, dude, I had a field down in Perrysburg before, he lost it because he got older, but like he had to sell it off. But he literally every year we had to meet there, and he told us if I get one phone call from any of you complaining about the other person, I'm pulling the plug on the whole thing. So y'all better get along.
Yeah, you better figure it out.
Yeah.
You better communicate, and that's the thing too. Like we had a group of guys. You know, usually I know the guys that hunt in our area, and I started texting them. I found out who a group that just started last late season and I started talking to them. I know it's gonna be like weird to them from some random guy to be like, "Hey, you hunting so and so's property? You hunting this? You hunting that?" In reality, I'm just trying to figure out like who is who, and you know, I'm not trying to backdoor anybody. I just want like at the end of the day, we're all the same team. We're going after the same thing.
We're bird hunting. Yeah. So like,
just trying to help out. You know what I mean?
100%.
But not a lot of people. There are a lot of selfish guys out there.
Oh, dude, and I just don't know why like that happens. Dude, now I'm fishing. I'll be up and I'll run a 36-mile back and forth run to Canada, and a guy will pull right up on me. Yeah. I mean, casting distance, dude.
Oh, really?
Oh, dude, I had a tournament this year. It was like we had been pre-fishing this area, and I did not see a boat. That morning. We were boat 1. We ran out. We got the spot. 12 boats showed up on our spot, dude. And I'm like, if that was me, I'd be like, you got it, man. Because I got, plan A through, Z that I'm going to stop and hit.
I feel the same way with, like, the field hunts.
Yeah, like, I'm going to, and I know fishing's easier than just to pick up and move.
No, for sure.
But, like, yeah, dude, I got 20 rock piles I'm ready to hit.
Right.
If you got there, it's all you, man. Congrats, you beat me.
Yeah.
But I like the disrespect these days, dude. Where people just don't care. It's bizarre.
I think a lot of the problem is everybody's looking for those sponsorships.
Yeah.
And that's like the thing for us. Wise, like we had a call company come out that we're going to be getting a hold of here soon.
Can you say it?
Not yet. Not yet. Well.
There's a little juice, everybody.
Well, yeah. It's a turkey and like grunt call.
Okay.
And they have minerals and stuff that they're coming out with. I guess I don't know. We still have to talk to them.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is like our group, me and Trav, we're not looking for handouts. We're not looking for like people to just start giving us stuff without us seeing what kind of person you are or like. I want to be able to run your product confidently.
Yeah.
And not just run it because you're giving us free stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a big thing too, though, because like I said, people are just looking out for whatever thing they can get for free wherever. Well, it's pretty shitty.
And I don't blame companies for being a little stingy on, trusting people, but like I've reached out to a few companies and they've been burned before, so it didn't work out for me for fishing.
Okay.
But like, here's the deal. Like, if I like Great Lakes Finesse, they started, like, I found them like 2.5 years ago. I started using their stuff. I had no play in this, but like, I started using it, and then I had a group of people that I was like, hey man, look, you gotta check this stuff out. This stuff's legit.
Right.
And now, 2.5 years ago, dude, they were just used in the St. Lawrence River, the last big tournament of the year. Like, every major pro had them. I mean, but if say they would have like sponsored me or given me a discount, like, dude, I bet 50 people in our area started using Great Lakes Finesse just because I was like, you need to try this stuff.
Right.
You need to support the small company because we got to keep. I don't know where they were at, like if they were going to be able to stay afloat.
Great Lakes.
Yeah, because like I don't know, it's tough because like you can help out, but at the same time, I understand why companies don't want to give free stuff away because they don't know you, and I don't have a big social media presence, which is that's tough for them to do,
and that's what's nice about like the companies that we work with. Like now, it's like most of them, we just started a relationship with those people.
Yeah, you guys are with Migra, SX. Is it SX Decoys?
Yeah, yep, and then GK. My sister has a paracord. She makes gunslings and lanyards.
Yeah.
Granted, she's my sister, so she better give me stuff. But
right.
So she does that. She's done a lot of our shirts. And there's some, companies are Gator Decoys. They're down in Ohio. I mean, list goes on, but it's you build relationships. You don't just go up to the person and be like, "Hey, can I get a sponsorship?" No,
Yeah,
who even are
they're
you
going to be
right
like, we already had 300 guys. Ask us that. Like,
today?
yeah,
You know what I mean?
we don't need your, you know, we don't need, some guy named Chad giving us, giving him
Right.
free stuff.
Right.
But, like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm happy for you guys. And that's why I asked you earlier, and that's like what your goal is with it. Cause I hadn't been up here and you guys had like different companies you're working with.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you guys keep it up, man. You're doing a good job.
I appreciate it. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
And I'm just from afar. I'm watching out from, I know
Yeah, the biggest thing with us, it's like, we have a few guys that, will message us and for feedback and stuff like that. And it's always like that reminder of we're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Especially with like the business side of it all, as like the Great Lakes, the merch and the podcast and social media and this, that, and the other. It's always you're doing the right thing. You're putting the right stuff out there, whatever it is. And like I said, we're not trying to make it a living or anything, but
But it could happen.
it could.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's when you don't try to. That's when maybe that right person sees it or whatever it may be. And if it happens, great. If not, whatever. You know what I mean? It's not.
You're still going hunting.
Yeah, you're not setting your expectations too high, and like I said, that's the whole guiding purpose of everything. Like, if we really wanted to, could we probably charter walleye on the river and the lake in the summer? Can we guided hunts out in the fields for ducks and geese? Yeah, sure. Do I want to make it a job? Absolutely not. Because then are we shooting the birds, or are we not bringing a gun? And there's just so much that goes into it.
That's funny you brought that up because the reason I got into guiding, like walleye and bass guiding, was because I got to the point, dude, where I was taking so many people out fishing. I mean, fishing that I wasn't reeling it in. My family and friends were like, "Why aren't you getting paid to do this?"
Right.
And I'm like, and I enjoy it. I'd rather take someone else out and get them than me most of the time. Don't get me wrong. I want to still have my days where I go out and pound them. But
I completely understand.
That's why I started doing it. Dude, I haven't, like, I worked, during, say this summer on weekends, I would get off at my law enforcement job at 2 a.m. And my trip would be at 6. I would guide till 1.
Well, you would snap me, I believe, on some of those.
Yeah,
like,
I would.
How are you still up? Right
Yeah,
now?
I wouldn't sleep I didn't sleep most weekends this year, but like it was worth it to me, and don't get me wrong, the money's nice, but like if somebody that wants to get into guiding, you better enjoy watching other people do it, because if you don't, and you're just doing it for the money, don't do it. You're not gonna you're gonna be miserable, and that's gonna kill your love for the sport.
And that's the thing, like, what I'm scared of too, and I'm not so worried about this because of what, like I just said, with why I don't want to do it all. But a lot of these farmers don't want that out there. They want family and friends out there enjoying their time out there, and it's not the only thing that's holding me back. But just example wise, like, I know guys that don't say anything to farmers and they're just making money under the table, and it's just like, just make sure when you do this stuff, do it the right way if you are going to go that route. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's a huge thing, I feel like.
Oh, we've seen the struggles for the guy that's a little more north.
Yeah.
He, like the what people say and what people do and what he does, and then people hear about it. I mean, dude, our community's small. Our duck hunting community and goose hunting community is tiny.
Yeah. Goose hunting, like waterfowl and turkey, like there's things that you're going to hear, whether it be from the podcast or any other social media base or a friend group or whatever it is, there's going to be stuff that is said from 3 or 4 states over that you're like, how do you even know me?
Yeah, how did
you even hear about that?
I have been accused for being undercover.
Oh yeah, I was gonna bring that up. So when you first started with all this, because I remember like a lot of people bringing that up with it all.
Every time you go he's a DNR officer.
So how did you bounce back from that though? Like how did you?
The people that like would complain about me, like, oh dude, he's gonna like throw us under the bus. You're not my friend.
Right.
Okay, I'll move on. I'll go hunt with people that like aren't worried about. I'm a fisherman and hunter first, and then I'm law enforcement.
I feel like if you're worried about that, then you're probably doing something wrong in the first place.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you're probably already doing something sketchy.
Dude, and like this is where me and law enforcement, I think I'm a good cop because of the mistakes I've made.
Well, you learn from it.
Yeah, so like, well, I can also be empathetic towards people
Right,
that do.
right.
Dude, like,
Especially nowadays, too.
yeah, like if you, like, again, I don't do any of the wildlife stuff. That's why I actually got into my field of watercraft,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't want to regulate hunters and fishermen because I am a hunter and fisherman.
Right.
And, you know, dude, I've fished without a fishing license before. I forgot.
I mean, I'll be honest. I've been there. You know what I mean?
Like,
where I had to buy like halfway through or something because I honest mistake. I just change of the year, or it might be a day after the season or whatever, and it's just like,
well, like
holy
Ohio
smokes.
changed it where like it was March 1st every year, like a hunting license. Then they
Mhm.
changed it. It was the day you bought it, and like I was on automatic renewal, and I forgot to change my mailing address,
Right.
and it didn't go through, and I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I fished without my. So I'd be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Like,
But you also gotta like find.
you gotta do your job, man.
You gotta find the weasels out there too that are just saying stuff to say
Oh,
stuff. You know what I
they
mean?
well, and I guess what made me combat it, like the people that I was really good with, I hunted with, and that hasn't changed. You,
Right.
Sean, my buddy Brad, anybody like the good people didn't change, but
Right.
there were certain people that I didn't get an invite next time.
And that's the thing though too. Like,
I'm okay with that. I can live with that.
well, for yeah, exactly. For other hunters or fishermen or whatever it may be, don't take it as a downing moment in
Mhm.
like your hunting career or anything, but take it as a learning point. Like, what could I do differently from, you know what I mean? Like, there's always something to
Yeah.
like learn about with whatever you do.
I mean, I guess. How do you? I mean, when you first met me, you knew I was a DNR guy in Ohio.
I didn't think anything of
That's
it.
what I mean. Like,
Yeah,
I didn't treat you any differently.
Well, hell,
You didn't treat me any differently.
last year, one of the hunts that we shot all those mallards in,
Yeah.
I invited one of our buddy that's DNR out for the morning breakfast because I knew he was going to be out in the area.
Yeah.
Like, that's I'm not hiding anything.
No,
you know what I mean.
like-
Like, and he came out and he checked some of the guys and whatever.
Don't get me wrong. There's that. There's dickhead cops.
For sure.
But there's also dickhead hunters.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're always gonna be there. They're never gonna
Mhm.
go anywhere. I work with people, dude. Okay. You want me to go on a tangent about my work?
Let's do it.
Like, I have people, like, we cover state parks too, which cover
Mhm.
the islands. We have state parks in all the islands. I have coworkers that arrest people on bicycles, golf carts, for OVI every weekend.
I feel like that's a fine line though too. I feel like if you're an average Joe, like if you're cruising around, you're not doing nothing wrong, which I get it. You're doing your job, whatever. But if you're banging into cars or whatever, that's one thing compared to having a
If you're-
leisurely
yeah.
drink. I don't even know if I said that word right, but like you know what I'm saying. Like if you're just having a beer driving around or whatever in a state park, or
Well,
maybe I shouldn't even say state park, but
J-
you get what I'm saying.
you ever been to Put-in Bay?
I
Heard of
haven't.
Put-in Bay?
I haven't.
All right, Put-in Bay is an island for anybody that doesn't know, and it's basically you get off onto the island. They hand you a beer and a golf cart, and they say have a good weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You have to kind of know your area, and you have to know your public, dude. That whole island sits at a .08.
Right.
Like everyone's somewhat drinking, so like,
Right. Well, you get a beer. You get in trouble if you have a beer off the boat, though, right? Like on the dock.
yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's on public land. I mean, private on public property, but like, I would say, I know this is tough because like, I know people do it. I know my buddies do it. Like drunk boating,
Mm-hmm.
and this is where the job changed me. I've seen the accidents of
And that's
drunk
the hard
boat.
part.
Dude, I had to be the person to pull someone out of the water. I've been on those accidents where people's faces are peeled off
Right.
because the operator was drinking. Dude, it's not like driving a car.
No.
Driving a boat at night is hard without being sober.
Oh yeah.
And you're drinking on top of that,
Yeah.
dude.
And
I'm
there's,
I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but like, you gotta be smart, man.
but there's a lot of people where they do need that, take it or not, say they're not hammered drunk, whatever it may be, and they also need that like point in their life where reality check kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you realize that you're kind of talking to that person that just needs that reality check to like make sure that like make them realize that they're not
Yeah.
way above the law, or they can't just do whatever they want to do because they've never got caught before. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's a
And like, dude, boater safety, like even duck hunters. Like I've had to rescue one of my buddies down there. This is gonna sound stupid, and I'm gonna sound like an old, safety nerd. How many duck hunters think their boat is overloaded in weight? Like all of them.
I was gonna say probably about 95% of them.
Yeah, dude. Like, so like we're on the big lake, man. If you're on the big lake and your boat's overloaded,
no joke,
bro. You take some ice. You got ice on your boat, or you got
joke.
Jimbo who's 350, or you got a big dog.
Right.
Dude, I deal with more sunken duck boats in the fall.
I believe it. I believe it.
Just be smart, man. I know it sounds stupid, but like instead of taking 7 dozen decoys, take 5. Just. And I'm not going to say you're entitled to wear a life jacket, but at least know where they are.
Right.
And I'm sounding like an old, lame man, but like I experienced that stuff. Right. And I'm like,
when you see that in person, I mean, that changes anybody, though.
It does, man. And it does. And I'm like, when I'm fishing by myself, I wear an inflatable life jacket until I get to my spot. But like, I wasn't like that till I got this job.
I mean, I'll be the first one to say that I don't wear a life jacket.
Ever.
Yeah.
And I didn't either.
Should I? Probably.
Yeah. I mean, again, I've never worn a friggin' life jacket hunting, and I probably never will.
Well, how many times do you go out there and you're like, that ain't going to happen to me, or this, that, and the other, and, that's the worst thing you could possibly say to yourself.
Well, like, yeah, you see something, and you're like, oh, I've done that 100 times.
Why hasn't that happened to me?
And that could happen to me.
Even my grandpa, like he went out, he was a big handliner in the river here.
Okay.
Have you ever handlined?
No, but I've heard about it.
One of my favorite ways to fish.
It's like just here, which is fun. It's hilarious.
It's crazy, dude.
It's just like the Detroit River area that I know of. I've heard of it.
This upcoming spring, I have to get you out there and handline because it's like, personally, it's my favorite way of fishing for walleye. It's like a cheat code, but middle of the night, he's out there driving around the river, hits a picnic table that's floating down the river,
right?
Launches his boat in the river. Like, you just don't know what's out there ever. I mean, there's the amount of stories that I hear, the amount of things that I've seen out there, even when in high school and stuff, where I don't even know how to explain this, but finding things floating in the water, I should say.
Well, you're on a river, dude.
I'm not saying logs.
Well, just anything.
Right. But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like, as long as you're moderately smart, you're probably gonna be fine. But like, last fall, you heard of the Fall Brawl?
Yeah, it's huge.
I mean, I'm in Port Clinton, dude. It's like the epicenter.
Yeah.
In between here and Cleveland is like the Fall Brawl, and I've been it. We had 5 boats sink in one weekend on the Fall Brawl. Yeah.
Because that's what, like a 2-month thing or something like that?
6 or 7 weeks. Like,
so
dude, I had a 28-foot sport craft, which is a very common boat in Lake Erie, split in half.
Really?
Yep. Just had a crack in the hull. Not even that old of a boat. Boat went down, and luckily my 2 coworkers were there on scene. They pulled the guy out of the water, and he was drowning. Like, they literally reached down as he's going under, and they pulled him out.
Holy smokes.
3 weeks ago, we had a big concert on the islands, and we had the absolute craziest storm of my entire life. But like, we rescued 5 people off a boat, and it was August, so hotter than hell.
Yeah.
But it rained all night. All 5 of them had hypothermia.
That's when how much rain did you guys get on?
We got 10 inches.
That's what we got, about 6 to 7.
Yeah, it was nuts. I mean, it's
It stayed right on top of us the entire time.
It just kept building, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another thing with this weather is like, you're on the big lake.
Especially Erie, out of all the Great Lakes.
She's shallow and she's nasty. Yeah. Like last year, the biggest wave that I know of that hit the Bell Buoy was 22 feet.
That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah, people don't realize how big those waves can get. Our last tournament, we were at 8s and 9s in a bass boat.
That's what me and Troy went out. We talked about this. We speared so many waves the day because I thought upriver would be better on a south wind. South wind for you guys down there is good.
Beautiful.
But south wind up here on the river is terrible.
It's like a funnel. Yeah, it makes it real.
But even this springtime, I don't know the exact dates, but it's jigging season.
Yeah.
I had a buddy and my sister's fiance's dad
Yeah.
out there. They hit a corner. Some guy T-boned him. The dad flew out of the boat into the water,
Yeah.
like 15 feet. Thank God he was fine with it all, but like things can happen. So
Did he have a
quick
life
out there.
jacket on?
I don't think so.
But he was okay.
He was okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
I think some bruised ribs. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's about it though.
but dude, like, I don't know how much I can talk about stuff, but like, we
You
had,
can talk what
like,
whatever you want. It's
like we had, most people we find dead, like floaters. We
Yeah.
find them with their pants down.
really,
They're taking a pee off the boat.
really.
Most
Wow.
people, yeah, dude, as simple as you being out by yourself, taking a leak off your boat, you find people with their pants down.
Oh, I never even like thought of that.
It's simple, like you just stand up, hey, I gotta take a leak real quick, and then you fall in, and say your boat's on, your autopilot,
Yeah.
and you're trolling, and now your boat's 80 yards away from you, and you can't swim,
Wow.
and so you took your remote. Yeah, it happens, man. It happens.
Apparently, it happens one time, and that's it.
Yeah, but a weird part is like people on this lake die in threes. Like we didn't have a fatal all year, and we had 3 in 1 week. It's weird.
See, even up here though, we have a lot of crazy stuff up here.
The river really makes it wild up here.
Up here,
yeah.
I mean, there's some stories I don't even want to get into with names and stuff, and don't want to talk about it. But I mean, there's been some crazy stuff that, I mean, and I'll even bring this into that, the history
Mhm.
with the Detroit River and like Lake Erie alone, and what this river is actually seen or what's underneath it with the tunnels and all that other stuff. It's such an interesting.
Oh, dude, the Detroit River. I came up here actually once this year to go jig fishing.
Did you?
Yep, I came up. Met a guy at a boat ramp. And he
You
was like,
didn't even ask for jigs. That's messed up.
I
Dude.
know. Well, I went with a guide.
Mm.
He's like, hey, I got a free day. Want to go scout with me? And I'm like, actually, I still have all the jigs he made for me 2 years ago.
Oh, do you really?
Yep, I
Good,
still have
good.
them. I actually use them.
Did you?
Out by us? Yeah, because everyone else uses hair jigs.
Mm-hmm.
So I use your guys' style jigs, like a fluke on it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it works fine.
Troy actually uses that on his smallmouth tournaments for the FLW or
Well,
MLF.
MLF. Yeah,
MLF.
he's in the invitational series.
I think what is it? What's above him in Toyota series? I think
so
he's.
there's 2 different branches. You got bass, and
Uh-huh.
then you got the new one, Major League Fishing, which is the MLF. The bass is the invitation, like they're the opens, which
Okay.
you have to pay to go into, and that's what you're trying to qualify to get into the elite
Which
series.
he did that, I know.
He may I didn't get to listen to the whole
Okay,
thing
I
with
gotcha,
Troy,
gotcha.
but like I know he's trying to go into the Major League Fishing side of it, so he's doing the Toyota series and the
Yes.
invitational opens, and
I think I don't know.
what Troy's doing is exactly what I want to do.
Okay.
Like I want to go that route. It's just I'm just now getting to the point where I can financially support myself. Like,
Right.
I'm not going to be a DNR officer my whole life. I can't do law enforcement my whole life.
Yeah, I feel like it's a very stressful thing. Very
Dude.
stressful thing. I think the guy up here was the longest DNR active duty around. I want to say. I don't know if you've heard about that or not.
No,
at all,
it's a
but-
great job. Like what I do every day, you can't beat it. It's the political side of it. Like what I do,
Yeah.
like it's my actual department. I can't stand.
Yeah.
Dude, I get to drive a boat every day. I'm on a $500,000 boat every
Yeah,
day.
that boat's gnarly.
Dude, that thing's sweet.
Yeah, that boat is gnarly.
But like, and the people aren't bad because again, I'm not dealing with criminals. I'm not in Detroit or Toledo
right,
dealing with criminals. I'm dealing with people recreating.
right.
Like, and I wish other officers knew that. Like, dude, you're not dealing with a criminal. Like a
Right.
legit, like someone trying to murder somebody.
Yeah, no, that's a big thing though too. I mean, some guys just like on the roads wise. I mean, obviously get too big of heads and stuff like that, and start going crazy with it.
Or the young guns that come out of the
yeah,
academy.
Yeah,
I
for
never
sure.
experienced that.
Well, I feel like since you are already an outdoorsman,
Yeah.
like it's a little bit different situation.
No, like your DNR guys, like, so they hunt and stuff.
When they can, like we got familiar with a handful of them, and like I said, we'll invite them out, and
Because, like, dude, most of my coworkers don't hunt or fish.
Yeah, see, that's
Isn't
the
that
thing.
weird?
Though. It's weird how they got into that situation. Then
Why did you get into this?
right,
If
right.
you don't like the like, this is gonna go back into boater safety because I deal with boats. We'll have we get mostly Wisconsin people in the springtime. I check more Wisconsin people
Really?
than anybody else.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. Well, they got slot limits and seasons. Like our walleyes open all year round.
Well, I mean, for walleye, I mean, I've seen people from Texas and Dakotas and all over the place.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude.
it's
I get
crazy.
Wisconsin guys, and like they all come down here, and like I started with these people, like some of my coworkers, and hey, do you guys want to get your boat inspected? And they're like, yeah. Well, they would go through their inspection and say they're missing their flares because you need flares on Lake Erie.
Okay, go ahead though.
So like, say you need those, and they were expired.
Okay.
My coworkers would be like, you can't go fishing. You have to go get your flares. Bro, these people just drove 16 hours to get here.
What?
You know what I mean? Like,
Are they really expired though? I mean, like,
Yeah,
or
they
is
ex-
just the date expired?
flares expire every 3 years. Oh, no. So
That's a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying though? Like they're
Do they-
probably
are
still
they-
working.
Oh, they probably still work fine. So, like,
Right.
that's what I mean. So, like, I'll let you go out if, like, they're
So
in
it's
good
not
condition.
10 years old or waterlogged or something.
Yeah, if they're waterlogged, but,
Right.
like, I have coworkers that'd be like, you can't go out. And I'm like, dude,
Yeah, that's tough.
they're in a freaking
It's tough to be in that situation. too.
$120,000 Ranger 622 FS, and you're going to tell them
You're
they
sitting
can't
in the
go
back
out.
seat of your cruiser.
Yeah,
just,
like, come on. These people are... Now, I have stopped people that are in some 1979...
oh,
I call them shit cruisers because, like, those are the ones we find on the rocks every weekend.
yeah.
And they don't have any of their gear. And I'm like, yo.
Some of the boats I even see out here, even like
jig
middle
fishing?
of summer.
Dude,
Jig fishing?
Oh,
Pfft,
good
come on.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it's how is that even floating?
But, I mean, again, I don't want to bore people with being, like, safe and just trying to keep your stuff teed up, but I think it's forgotten.
Right. No, for sure. What size boat do you need for flares though? Because I brought that up a couple times with friends.
Any power vessel,
Needs flares.
so it's got a power vessel, and you're going to be out at night.
So
That's federal. It's a U.S. Coast Guard federal law. It's not
that's
state.
not just Ohio or anything.
No, it's federal waterway, so that would count as Detroit River, St. Clair. Yeah, if you're going to be out at night, oh, dude, besides kayaks, like that's not a power
Kayaks are
vessel.
A whole different
Dude,
thing.
I have almost blown over kayaks at
Yeah.
night because all they need is a flashlight, and I'm like, how is that legal? But you have to
Yeah.
have flares on a John boat, you know?
Well, like kayaks even for us because there's cool, good for them. They're getting out there more and more.
Oh, the kayak fishing's getting big in the bass world too.
Bass, but like even the walleye.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like up here, like you'll see kayaks all the time.
Oh, I guess I knew that because, like, we got the guys that got. If you have a trolling motor on your kayak,
Uh-huh.
it's the same as a bass boat, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a power boat. You got to register it, same safety equipment.
Wow.
Yep, that's at least Ohio. I know Michigan's different, but Ohio, like, yeah, you got a trolling motor. You're on a power boat, dude. Like,
Well, it's crazy. Like even the guys upriver from us, they'll be out in kayaks and stuff like that, and you got these giant freighters coming through, and it's like, what are you doing?
yeah,
You know what I
dude.
mean? It's stupid.
You see them way out in the lake, but
It's like, how'd you even get out here?
Yeah.
Did you leave yesterday morning
oh,
and you're out here fishing? You
yeah,
know what
dude,
I mean?
the kayak thing is getting ridiculous. But also, it's because our world's getting like, if you want a boat, like, I don't like the excuse of people telling me they can't afford a bass boat. I literally was taking 5 years ago. I had a 15.5-foot John boat, and I'm running 12 miles out in the middle of Lake Erie with a 25 horse Johnson, bass fishing. And then every year since then, I've bought and sold a boat to upgrade.
That's like
I'm like, dude, you can do it.
let me
You just don't want to.
let me take a bathroom break here,
You're good.
and then we'll talk about how
We can talk about
I
anything.
started with my waterfowl like boat and everything else like that.
Yeah,
So-
okay.
All right, so the first boat that we hunted out of, we had 3 guys maybe
Yep.
in our little 14-foot flat bottom boat, and it was just like your basic generic little tiny boat that we would literally probably haul a jet sled or two behind us with just
Yeah.
full of decoys and everything. But it was like It's got like the 3-4 bench seats that are sitting in the middle. That like it's just one of those things where, just I shouldn't have been out there doing that. And,
well, no, you're just getting into it, and you're like,
we didn't know.
I don't know how much I need.
Right.
And then you start throwing it all in there, and you're like, oh God, this is a lot.
Yeah,
but you just send it because you're excited.
Yeah, I mean, and then the funniest thing was me and my dad were out there. We're going to one of the local islands. We start running through, and when we take off, this guy's dumping his mud motor in, his mud boat. And he starts running his mud boat in, and all of a sudden, like, we're halfway through there. We feel like we got some speed on us, this, that, and the other. This mud boat just comes ripping past us, even though like a half hour ago he was launching. It's like, dude, we got to get a bigger upgrade or something. Like, we can't keep on doing this. Like, if we want to like get bigger and better with this stuff and get out there to the good spots, like we got to figure something out.
100%.
I don't know.
Well,
it's a whole learning process towards it.
It also
all.
depends how you want to do this sport or any of these like our sports, like fishing or hunting. Like, I don't want to be the guy that his hunt is controlled by his equipment.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it.
Like, I don't want to be the guy that doesn't like, well, those birds would have came in if we had more decoys.
Yeah.
Or they would have seen us if we had a better A-frame. Or I would have caught more fish if I would have, like, had, or that guy beat me in the tournament because I didn't have forward-facing sonar. Or
that was a huge thing that Troy was talking about.
Yeah.
That he said that's getting, like, super big.
Dude,
right
your
now.
dad needs to buy it. Because I know your dad always puts everything on that boat.
So for us, like, on the walleyes, though, like, we don't really do anything else with that boat, really.
Dude, walleye fishing with forward-facing sonar is amazing.
Well, like, for us, like, on the jigging, like, maybe on the trolling aspect of everything, but, like, on the jigging side, we got our spots that we hit. We got, like, those spots that we know that's good. We talk to a lot of, like, our local friends and stuff that are out there fishing every single day and stuff, and, we kind of get the inside scoop of, what's out there, where we need to go.
Oh yeah.
But I also like to go to those spots where nobody else is there.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like you said, you've been up here in the river. I don't want to be in those crowds.
Wild.
Yeah, it's something that will push away a lot of fishermen. You know what I mean? Just the number of boats and it's very overwhelming.
I see that guiding, dude. I have a big thing on the side of both of the boat. I run for two different companies.
Mm-hmm.
It is religious, man. They see my charter boat and they come set up right up on me while I'm trolling or jigging or casting, just because I'm a charter boat. Yeah. Or you see the packs of boat. We have, like, you guys got the crowds, but wait, we have packs. Like, dude, you'll see a pack of 150 boats trolling the same area, the same school.
Which we'll get that too on the lake and stuff.
Yeah, you guys go. Oh yeah, I fished with your your dad last year. And you see that, man.
Yeah, you'll get that.
Millions of walleye in this lake.
Oh.
Why would you want to fish the same ones that saw 500 bandits that day?
So what's your opinion on people are always talking about letting the females go, letting this one go. Yeah, I'm curious because, like, my whole thought process is the bigger the female is, and like I said, I could be way wrong on this. It's just my thought process. The bigger the female is, she's not like reproducing as much as the younger females that are full of eggs.
Yeah, so
or not what am I looking for here?
Reproductive, like she's not as like
fertile.
Fertile, yeah, they're not fertile anymore. That's a great question because you go on social media and someone posts a picture of them holding a 30-incher and they're like, "This is awesome." When people are like, "Well, did you let it go?"
Right, yeah, it's everywhere.
Well, no, dude. He kept it.
Yeah.
And guess what? Joe Schmo probably ate it.
Yeah, exactly.
He only fishes 3 times a year, and he kept it.
Mm-hmm.
That fish is going to feed him. A 30-inch walleye will feed a whole family for a night.
Well, for me, if I'm catching a 30-inch walleye, you got the bottom, the top, and then I'm cutting that in half. I mean, that's 4 fillets right there on one side.
So you got the cheeks. You got, if you want to cut out the bat wings or the wings on them and like fillets. So like, most fish at 27 are infertile. 27 inches, they're not fertile anymore.
That's what I always figured.
Yep.
Not that. It was that.
They'll still get eggs.
Right.
They'll still go through the same process. The funny part is people are like, well, I want to keep them fish from 18 to 22. Dude, those are your reproductive fish.
Which the male part of it all I get.
Well, think about hen limits.
Well, I think hen limits are a joke in my opinion as well.
Well, it's the same as males. Because you go out trolling, you catch a bunch of shorts, a bunch of 14 inchers, and like those fish, if you're dragging them behind your spoons and your dipsies, are gonna die. They literally will drown.
For too much oxygen wise?
Yeah, they'll drown. So like you're already killing those fish. There's so many walleye in this lake, like
It's like a blonde haired girl in
yeah,
a one corn stalk corn maze.
yeah, yeah. So like, dude,
Drowning fish underwater.
Dude, we have our limits in order for a reason. They've been wanting to. Only reason why they haven't bumped them on lake areas because the guiding charter, like the fishing charter organizations, would throw a fit because the higher the limits go up, it's harder on the charter captains. That's more fish they got to catch for the same money.
That would make sense. That would definitely make sense.
But my complaint is, I was actually thinking about this on the way up here. I don't know how Michigan listens. Dude, Ohio does not listen to the sportsman.
See, I feel like, especially in the deer aspect of everything, I feel like Ohio listens a lot more than Michigan.
Dude, our state, maybe we just are biologists too better with that. I don't know. Like, I'm not a biologist.
Well, the biggest problem is insurance companies, especially with deer and everything else. I mean, not so much water, but deer and what you shoot and what you kill, whatever. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Is the deer.
So like our fish and like, God, I don't even know where to go with this. I don't want to sound like like a bashing ODNR, but I am. I guess our ducks don't show up till January. Like, dude, it drives me nuts. And the only reason why they don't change our seasons is because of the hunt clubs. They're hunting marshes. They're hunting private marshes that have corn in them. And like.
Do you think it's that, or do you think it's the the breeding time?
No, dude, it doesn't give the birds a break. Our birds are like the big push of birds we get, unless we have a cold year. We've had cold years, but we've had warmer years the last 5 years, dude.
Right.
We were hunting in 70-degree weather last November. I know you were too.
We were. There was a big cold snap in the late season because like even like my river spots froze up. That like the rifle river. I think it's rifle. No, it's not the rifle river. Raisin River. Raisin River. That like froze up completely, and that's a very fast flowing body of water. So I mean, we definitely did get some cold snaps that were in the negative numbers.
Yeah.
But I will agree that we definitely had some warm numbers. Like when we were kids, I feel like there was like snow up to our waist.
Oh, dude, like
you know what I mean? Like
where
did that go?
7 years ago or 8 years ago at this point, our lake froze 95%.
Yeah.
Dude, too much. So that was too much because then all our birds got pushed out.
Way out, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have anything, and then you had to wait for it to thaw, and they come back.
Right.
But like, all I'm asking is like, can you just push our season out in Ohio? Like, get rid of like 1 weekend of October and throw a week in January? Because we like
especially on the diver numbers too. I mean, that's just insane.
Well, our divers, dude, we already have divers here.
I believe
that first cold snap, like I went out and I saw some bluebills, and I'm like, that's weird. I don't know. I mean, supposedly this is the restart of the Farmer's Almanac. It's been the 40th year. Every 40 years, the almanac restarts.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so like we're supposed to have a cold winter.
I did hear that.
They say that every year. We were supposed to have a cold winter last year, and it was warm.
Well, so last year I heard that we were going to have was it this year? I think.
Leave Detroit ever.
Right. Well, and even like
Toledo sees that bad, where Sean's area. Like a lot of those birds, dude, they know that they go to the same spot every day.
Well, for us, even though like this year's migration has been absolutely crazy because at that meeting last night, like there's no way that we're having migrators. It's just locals. That's what September's about. It's like, no, dude. You have your early season migrators going to be pushing down at the first cold front, first north winds of the season that are going to be eager to leave. Then you got your calendar birds going to be in the middle of the September. And then you got that other cold snap that is going to push more and more birds down, and then pressure to the north, and more and more north winds. And then after that, then you start getting those, the weather birds that are pushing down with the ice or whatever. There's different phases of migrator days. You know what I mean? In my opinion.
No, I mean, you're right. And not to go off topic, but I was talking about earlier how our birds are in our, our weather patterns affect our fish and our birds in the same way.
Yeah.
So if anyone's on here that's listening about like fish, what you're talking about with birds is the same what happens with fish. So that first cold front of the year, you're gonna get a push of fish coming in shallow, but you're also gonna have what's called turnover, where the lake flips. You're gonna have the hot water get on top.
Okay.
And then the cold water is because right now the cold water is down deep,
right,
and the hot water is on top. Then you got that first few big cold fronts of the fall. Those fish are gonna be all jacked up. They're gonna be spaced out, and then you're gonna get fish pushing up because that cold water is gonna get pushed back up on shore.
Right.
The bait fish, the phytoplankton, which what the bait fish are eating, and then with the bait fish, you got the walleye, the smallmouth, any of your target species, and it's a lot like our birds. So it all comes in stages, and November's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, but also November is amazing for fishing.
Walleye fishing in the fall is a very overlooked.
Dude, bass fishing in November.
Good.
Is if I had to pick a month out of the year, the bass fish, it's November.
Really?
100%. I would skip the spawn.
So I guess I never really.
You don't know until you experience it, pretty much.
I was gonna say we're so busy with waterfowl, and there's some days where it's just like, dude, I don't want to do this right now.
Well, you get those you get the days where you get the bluebird days, because I don't care what anyone says. You can watch all these pro guys. I never shoot crap on bluebird days with no wind and it's like flat calm. Unless you got an X that they're feeding on every day, no matter what, and they don't come till noon.
I mean, here's the thing though, too. The guys that you're seeing on TV, you're gonna be paying $300-400 a hunt with those guys. You know what I mean? Like
those birds are coming there no matter what.
Reality.
It don't matter on the weather. Yeah,
right. It's not reality. And we got like right now, we got migra coming up at one point this year.
Oh, really?
So. Which I'm already shitting bricks over it already. I'm hoping they do. We've been talking about it for like 2 years, and we're just trying to figure out dates and stuff. And hopefully it's not going to be
70.
Something comes up and they can't come or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm already freaking out about it.
Dude, I would just act like they're hunting buddies.
Well, no,
you know what I mean?
And that's the difference though. Like there's hunters, and then there's like people that just go out there and kill. You know what I mean? And these like. Our buddy Q-Tip over there and a bunch of other guys, like they just want to come up and have a good time. You know what I mean? Hopefully they're going to come in here and do a podcast with us and everything else. But we got a flooded standing cornfield right now that's already got 100+ ducks on it and X amount of geese on it already.
Okay. When's your duck season open?
Second weekend of October.
That's right, because we went up to your cabin the
first weekend
for the northern section, right? Or the second
middle
zone.
Yep.
Yeah, I do. You'd be surprised how many Ohio guys go up there.
I believe it. I mean, I'm always surprised every single year on how many guys go up to the UP.
Oh yeah.
And then the middle, then onward, which is kind of cool though.
I think it's awesome, but yeah, I mean, if I could, I would. But that's where I honestly suck at. My balance in life is awful. Because I want to, if it's a bluebird day where I should, go scout for a field, nope. I'm taking my bass boat. I'm running 70 across the lake on a flat day. I'm going to go catch fish on November. But
yeah, but I'll say 70% of the time, you're probably making the right call.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to pick your days, and that's why I actually got a log book in my truck now.
Yeah, that's smart.
To where scouts and hunts and stuff like that, which I got to write up the last 2 hunts. But that way in the years, like in the future, I can be like, okay, this day was this temperature. I've seen this many birds while scouting.
Mm-hmm.
Or we shot this many birds while hunting, but we've seen this amount. Just so I can look back, and then hopefully one day in the podcast room we could actually have a whole bookshelf of it or something. It just I
Yeah,
don't
well, you
know,
could look
something
at it.
smart.
Yeah, you could prove to yourself that, like, okay, yeah, it was 60 degrees in November that day, but I saw this many scouting.
Right.
But for whatever reason, we shot this many midday. They didn't fly in the morning,
Right.
but they flew in the afternoon.
So maybe we should just sleep in a little bit and then go out there.
Yeah, so like I think that's awesome.
And obviously fishing would be a lot harder because more action and stuff. But
I love fishing, dude. I'm telling you. But that like, and I don't know if any like it sounds like you don't know much about it. But like the forward facing sonar stuff is like a freaking like blast. But
see, my big thing is right now is do you want another one?
yeah, fuck it. Sure.
What do you want?
I don't know if I can say F words. Peach.
Is this your first time having the peach?
Second time. They're pretty good.
After that second beer was your first time? I'm just
Third time then. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's not that I don't like fishing. It's not that I'm not interested by research by fishing, but there's something about the like migration and you can say the same thing about fishing. The fine detailed stuff to be able to trick the fish or goose, but like goose and ducks for me, like we try to be different from everybody else.
Yeah.
Like these guys are all running dive bomb stuff. We just ordered
Are your SX silos or fulls?
full bodies.
Okay.
So we actually got Scott over there has been helping us out a ton. We just got 6 full body, solid black, fully flocked full bodies.
Dude, the blacks, dude. I hunt with one kid,
Mm-hmm.
one guy. Like when I hunt on the weekends, like if I can hunt,
It's kind of a nice thing though too,
Dude,
because there's some days where it's like, dude, can I just like have a buddy hunt or like me and Ellie go out and just chill, or me and Rip go out and chill? You know what I mean?
there's
Like,
pros and cons of both. 'Cause if you're
100%.
hunting with 10 boys, you probably got 500 birds hitting the field.
you're not wrong,
So like, well, I don't invite people unless I got something, dude.
right?
And I'm usually late season in Ohio is awesome. That's that's when we shot those birds. Oh no, I guess we shot those birds shot in November, but
Was that November?
yeah,
That was one of the best ones. I will never forget that hunt.
yeah. I mean, if I don't know if you guys talked about it before, it was literally 3 flocks. We shot a 10-man,
Yeah, it was nuts.
3 flocks.
'Cause I sat right next to you that day.
Yeah, dude.
And it was just like,
Al's kid out there when he
What
was
the
still
heck?
young,
Yeah.
blasting
It was
birds.
insane.
The dogs had fun, and gosh, but what I will give to you 100% is before I hunted with you, I would have never hunted with 10 people, ever. You would have never convinced me to do it.
you got to be very open-minded with the 10 people and understanding with who you hunt with the 10 people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
10 good dudes
Exactly.
who all understand dog safety.
Dog safety, shooting lanes, gun safety.
Yeah, because
I
it can
mean-
be a disaster.
Oh, for sure.
But like we had 10 guns a day with Sean. I've had 10 gun days with you. Dude, it's fun. If you
Yeah.
have a good crew, dude, hunting with 10 guns is exciting.
Well, because I was even nervous last year with the 14 guns. But the biggest thing is, like, I
Hiding
don't
them.
care if you hunt it. Well, not so much to hide, because, like, we did the 14. We had a ditch in the field.
Yeah.
I went out the night before. I put pallets in that ditch. The next morning, we went out there. We drove out there. We put the A-frames on the pallets in the ditch. We put pallets out there because there's water in there still.
Mm-hmm.
So the A-frame sat out of the water on the pallets in the ditch. So it was almost like a pit blind, but, like I said,
Yeah.
in A-frames. But before the hunts, I'll go over the safety stuff and I'm calling the shots and this, that, and the other. Like, you don't want to be a dick about it, but you got to be strict about it to make sure everything's going good.
You have
there
to.
might be a guy or two that are like, dude, what are we doing right now? But like,
There's a perk to bringing a dog
well,
because you get to hunt in the end.
yeah, I hate hunting in the middle. But
Yeah.
you got to make sure everybody's on the same page with, and especially calling. Calling is a whole other thing where I can go on and on about with team calling and people coming out to hunts and calling and
Yeah, because you don't want to be the guy that's like, hey, bro, can you not call because you sound like a
Right.
dying ostrich.
right.
But at the same time, you're like, oh, I want you to get better and have fun.
Right.
But shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Well, especially for us, for the guys that are traveling through, you know what I mean? Because like for us, we got guys that travel all the time, 3-4 hours that come up and hang
Oh
out,
yeah,
spend a weekend, whatever.
yeah.
Which I love it, but I don't want to be a dick to them. But at the same time, it's like it's not just your hunt, dude. You're ruining everybody else's hunt. You know what I mean?
Or the guy that brings a bad dog.
Yeah. Luckily, I haven't had that yet.
Well,
I haven't had
no.
that yet.
Sage got attacked at a parking lot once.
Really?
Yeah. Luckily, I was wearing steel toes that morning.
Wow.
Yep, this dude's black lab that I invited. I invited this one kid, and he's like, "Hey, do you mind if my buddy comes along?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, man. Like, we have room."
Right.
Sage was her second year. I let her out, and this black lab charges across the parking lot. Bit her once, and I knocked that dog clean out.
Just straight up coming.
Dude, he's straight up. I don't even like. I had just stepped out of the car with her, so like, dude, like when people were like, "Oh yeah, I got a hunting dog." Okay, is he trained? Will he heel? Sit?
See, here's the thing though too with that. If you know your dog, and you know your dog doesn't get along with other dogs, obviously don't bring it.
Why would you bring it? Yeah.
But the train part of stuff is a very technical thing to say because your trained dog is different than Bob Joe's trained dog.
Right. Like, are you actually training your dog, or like you've gone out and like told your dog to sit, stay? Like, there's a difference between hunting with you and your dog and your one buddy, and then 14 guns going off, 2 dogs. You got hundreds of birds working. Like,
Right.
I've been there with you. I've been there
Right.
with, like, dude, that's a lot.
Yeah. No, but like same sense though, like for like Ellie wise.
Yeah.
No force fetch, which I probably should have. I probably still need to if it's not. I mean, I don't think it's ever too late for a dog.
Well,
to
it's
learn
not.
this
And I
stuff.
got the person I went to with her. His name's Scott Denham out of Ohio. He's awesome. Sean went to him. Dude, he was like gun shy. I was like, I don't break that out of a dog.
Right.
He's like, why? Because you shot a 12 gauge next to your 8-month-old dog. He's gun shy. No, you're just a dumbass.
You're right. Right.
You're good. Your dog's as good as you are.
Well, because like for Ellie wise though, I didn't really care if she. Ellie's the first lab that I had, just like Sage for you.
Mhm.
If she brought the bird 10 yards closer, I was fine with it. I never really like forced it. There was a time that, I was really working with her with the whistle, and she understands like the hand signals and stuff. Ellie, as you see, is just a stubborn old girl. She's 5. It's not like she's old, but she's 10, 11 years old.
She is pretty laid back.
Yeah, but and that's a whole another thing too with hunting dogs. You have to understand the personality of your dog. But that's what I'm saying though. The point is your dog. Are you expecting your dog to just bring the birds back a little bit closer,
Yeah.
or are you looking for heel, hold? That there's a lot of steps to that.
Yeah.
So it's a ladder where you got to talk about with trained dogs. I guess is the whole point of
Just
that.
be, if you're bringing a dog, you make sure you're prepared for the situation, because it can also ruin your hunt. Like,
Yeah.
you're sitting there messing with your dog all day.
Right.
That sucks.
Breaking constantly.
Breaking.
Right.
And like I told you before we got on here, like, Sage doesn't break unless she hunts with Sean's dog. That is the only
Yeah.
dog she will break with.
Yeah.
Which
It's a competitive thing.
it is. And
But do you guys train together a lot with
Nope.
them? So I mean,
well, we did a little bit when we were younger, when she was younger. But like, dude, I was mean to her.
Right.
I was mean to Sage.
I've had those points.
Dude, force fetching was force fetching.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna retrieve this, but like, that's a young dumb kid trying to teach a dog.
Right.
So, dude, she's way smarter than I could have ever imagined.
And that's the thing. And I will say, the attitude towards Sage from you now is a lot different from when I met you up north.
I was Sage.
Yeah.
I was screaming at her all
Well,
day, man.
the one hunt that we had that both the dogs broke, and we had to put them in the trailer.
Oh, with yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was a whole. I mean, but they were young, or whatever it was. I mean, Sage was a little bit, or Nix was a little bit.
We also
older,
didn't
but
expect to be hunting with clients.
no. No.
So
True.
I completely understood.
Right.
And that was actually that was her first hunt with more than like 3 people,
Which is huge.
which is now knowing I wouldn't have done that. I would have left her in the car from the get go.
Right.
You know, like I wouldn't have put her out in that situation for people that were paying. Well, we did pay that day, I guess, but you know, I wouldn't have brought her out there if I, you know, would have known there were going to be 10 guns shooting at, you know, a couple birds. But yeah, no, it's just, you know,
You just gotta be smart with the dogs and stuff. And it's just, did you ever feel guilty with it being your first dog and not doing enough because you didn't know enough in the beginning?
I did too much. I was too mean to her.
But not okay. So I mean that falls under the category of not really knowing.
Yeah,
because it's
yeah.
your first dog though.
Oh, I feel guilty every day,
Yeah,
and
me
that's why
too.
she's babied now, dude.
Yeah.
She sleeps in my bed with me. The only thing she doesn't do yet is ride in my truck again.
She's in the bag.
I have a cab because she, you know, being a Chesapeake, she sheds
Yeah.
not like a lab, but like,
I remember petting her just before we even started here, and it's like,
she's
holy smokes, is it snowing in here
yeah,
right now?
yeah, her curls are falling off, but yeah, no, it's just if you're gonna do it when you're younger, just you know, go to somebody, get some help, get some guidance.
Don't be scared to ask anything.
No, dude. And also, God, being scared. That goes into any waterfowl hunting. No matter who you are, you're not the best waterfowl hunter in the world. You're never the best bass fisherman in the world unless
That's
you're Kevin
huge.
Van Dam. Like,
Happy retirement to him too.
yeah, happy retirement to KVD. You know, don't be surprised if he comes back. But
Pulling a Tom Brady on us.
yeah, he's gonna go to Bass. He's gonna switch federations and go win another classic. But KVD, like, but you know what I mean, like.
No,
You can learn something from everybody.
it's even like with work and stuff for us. It's like you're not the best at this. Like you're not gonna know everything. Just relax, enjoy the moment,
Mhm.
and have a good time with it. You don't have to bring people down just because you're not shooting the amount of birds. And I think a lot of it, in all honesty, is I'll go back to the sponsorships
Yeah.
that are people that are hoping to get. And in my opinion, anyway, the biggest thing is jealousy. I think jealousy is one of the biggest things because you have this field, I couldn't get on this field, and you're shooting this amount of birds.
Yeah.
You really can't say that with fishing because fishing, you know, it's your day. It's your day. You put the work in to scout. You got that rock pile. The weather wasn't cooperating. Whatever it may be with fishing.
Yeah, there's more dynamics to it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's
But-
more moving parts, I guess.
But for field hunters, I should say, I feel like jealousy is a big thing. You got that hole even on the marsh.
hmm it's public land, though. You know, like you gotta,
Right.
you didn't get there. Like, you know, jealousy or like, you know, and I would say in the guiding side of things, ego.
Yeah.
Men's ego
Yep.
gets in the way of so many. Like I had to I had an ego, dude. Oh my god, well, I had to prove to someone that I was the best duck hunter. I had to prove to someone that I was the best bass fisherman, goose hunter. Dude, I don't like. You're not.
So what how long ago was that? Do you think?
Oh, I mean,
When I've known you?
yeah, I guess when you first met me, I was just kind of getting over that whole ego thing of like.
I was gonna say because I've never really like.
No, I guess
got
it was
that
probably
from
before
you.
that. I guess it was probably before that. And I'm a lot worse. I'm not as bad as some people.
Right. No, I mean,
You know, like I've never been real braggy. I've been kind of
Right.
just low key, but like
So-
I still had an ego. But like you know, who my favorite people are to charter
who's that?
women.
Just because?
Women that have never fished a day in their life.
Why is that?
Because women, if I take a guy fishing who's never walleye fished in his life,
They're expecting.
he'll still tell me how to do things. He'll be like, well, I don't reel that way, or oh, I mean, I don't understand that, but I would rather do it this way. And I'm like, then why are you paying me?
Right. I mean,
Dude,
I could see that.
I take 6 women out. They're like, tell me what to do. How do I do it? And they do it flawlessly because they want to learn. Dude, guys' egos, man. I don't know what it is, but it's,
I could see that though. I could definitely see it.
yeah, I don't know why, dude. It drives me nuts. Like, dudes and their egos, man. I'm like, why are you paying me to go fishing? Like, how about this? My last trip on Tuesday, we were smoking them. We got kicked out of our spot because there's a there's a federal firing range, and they shoot cannons into the water over there.
Oh,
So I had to leave. So
yeah,
like,
don't want to be there.
I had to move. I got kicked out by the feds. I had to go move. It's normal.
Right.
I went to another spot that I had done well, a few days prior, and we didn't get crap for the first hour we were there. And this dude looks at me and goes, "Wow." I don't know. He goes like, "Wow, we're paying you to find a spot that I could find." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, there's no fish here. I could have found this spot." Oh, dude, I was just like,
That's gonna be one of the hardest things to
Okay.
be like keeping your cool in them certain situations, though,
yeah.
because you're already kicking yourself in the butt already.
Oh, I'm so bummed, dude.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
"Crap, man." I feel bad, and
But like that's why I said like you're the one paying me.
Mhm.
One, two. Well, it kind of goes back to what I just said. Like you don't have the equipment that
no.
I have accessible. Like you can't do what we're doing right now.
Well, and
So what's the problem here?
I did a whole article this year on guiding and the different aspects of it. Like, say you are a fisherman and you own a boat, or you don't own a boat. Like, you are paying us for our knowledge and experience.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying us to, like, dude, honestly, guiding's cheap. Like, say our guide trips, like, it's $760 for that day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're getting a boat out of that. You're getting all the gear, and you're getting my experience.
Yep.
And knowledge. That's pretty cheap compared to the amount of effort we've put in.
If you break it down, yeah.
You're talking $10,000 in rods, $100,000 boat.
Right. If you break that down for sure.
Why do you think I'm single? 40 hours a week on the water.
Could you say that same thing with waterfowl?
Oh yeah.
I think so. Well, I guess decoys and stuff like that as well.
How many days a week you out looking at random fields, looking at grease pandas?
Too many. And that's the thing, though, too. That even gets me into a whole different topic.
Like, how many weekends have you missed in the last 3 years of hunting?
Maybe 2 or 3. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I missed like 2 last year. Yeah, not many.
Like a whole weekend? Or one
Yeah,
day?
yeah, no, because I was out of town for 2 of them last year. I think.
Yeah, you went on like Tennessee for something, didn't you?
I was in Tennessee, and then I had another bachelor party
But like,
west. But I mean, like, yeah.
But fishing and hunting is the same way. Like, this is not a hobby. This is who you are. This is what
Right.
you do, and this is what you love to do, and you're gonna put every ounce of what you have into it. And
Well, and that's like what kind of leads me to like the scouting. Like, yeah, I can get mad all I want with guys not scouting.
mm-hmm.
Personally, I would rather you just give me some gas money once in a while,
Yeah,
because you're not seeing those fields the way I'm seeing them.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
I'm not seeing like the graph like you see them.
oh yeah, that's
You know what I'm
that's,
saying?
that's
Like-
fair.
like-
yeah,
You see a school of fish, you think, okay, I got to do this because they're sitting on this piece of structure, or they're up in the water column, so I got to do this or that, or whatever it may be. I'm seeing those birds out in the field. They're here, so I got to like do this. They're in this kind of situation. They're coming in from this way, or whatever it may be.
and you're also thinking about what could happen in 3 days when we're actually in the field,
yeah,
or 3 days when you're actually on the
Right.
water. Like,
right.
other people that don't have that experience won't know to even look for that.
Yeah.
I literally think waterfowl fishing and
Waterfowl fishing.
and fishing.
Have
go
another peach there, bud.
Oh, geez, yeah. Waterfowl and fishing go along like very similar when it comes to that, because for one, the amount of time you got to put in to do it. If you really want to be successful.
If you want to be successful,
Yeah, like if you really want to shoot birds, yeah, you can go out every weekend and go to public land or pick a field and just be like, well, we'll see if we can pass shoot a few birds.
Right.
But you want to take 10 people out with a trailer full of decoys? Boy, you better be out there looking.
Yeah, you can't, and that's the thing. It's just like, everybody's, man, you pound the birds. You could, or you catching a ton of fish. You caught some giant fish. If you want to do it,
Do it.
what's stopping you?
Yeah. Don't be jealous of me.
Right.
Like, yeah, like you're like, don't be jealous of me, and don't be like, oh, you're so lucky that you have those fields. Well, how do you think I got them?
Right. That farm that we hunted,
Yeah.
it took me 2-3 years to get on.
Oh, dude, like the spots that we have in Canada, like we just found like this week,
Fishing wise?
fishing wise. Like, if someone told me like, oh, dude, it's so nice for you to go out and just like be able to fish whenever you want. I'm like, dude, I worked 100-hour weeks for the past 3 months, or like,
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
water is like completely even different though, because it's like you have this giant body. Like
yeah,
you don't have to go there for that.
yeah,
In perspective, you don't have to go there for that. There's a spot, say you're going 20 miles out that way, right?
yeah.
You go 20 miles the other way, and you can find your whole other reef that you do better than I do on that. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so
dude.
many different things that,
Well, like,
water.
I could like this, like the dirt. Like I have to go by the, I go past these areas that I grew up fishing. I'm not looking for more smallmouth. I know, dude, there's smallmouth everywhere.
Right.
I'm literally looking for the difference from getting a 18-pound bag to getting a 22-pound bag.
Right. Well, and I think I've talked to some guys too. It's like you don't start when you're fishing out there. You start, even like, ooh, that was a cramp in my leg. I'll tell you that right now. You start like springtime. You find the point, and you do those logs where there's a weed bed that's growing here. You get that point. There's that log right there. Then you go back to it and try it. You know what I mean? That structure. You don't run past that structure and don't think of it later down the road. I mean, there's so many different technical things to it. We can just go on and on.
Oh, dude, I see. Yeah, and that's the hardest part about having a podcast, probably with me, is that we have jumped back and forth from hunting and fishing about 8 times at this point. But,
no, that's fine.
Like, they're both fun. If you want to be successful, you have to go sit in your car after work. You worked 8 hours, and now you have to go drive around for 3 hours.
Right.
When you're tired, or when you finally get a day off to go fishing, you have to go spend 3 of your 6 hours of fishing staring at a graph.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually want to be successful,
you don't have to throw a line out there every single time either,
dude. When I go fishing, I spend at least a quarter of my time without even throwing. I literally just graph. I will spend hours and hours and hours just looking at my screen. Like your boy Troy.
Yeah.
He probably spends more time behind the wheel than I do. Just literally
especially during pre-fishing, for sure.
Dude, I bet even just fun fishing.
Even fun fishing, yeah.
Because you're trying to find
dude,
something so different, or something so, because like hunting and fishing's gotten so big. We talked about earlier, hunting and fishing's gotten so big. It ain't hard to go find a rock pile, and it ain't hard to go find a cornfield full of geese.
Right.
Like, I get, but it's hard.
It is hard, but
it is. But like, you gotta, like, for you to get permission to hunt it, and then be able to break it down and set up your your blinds properly in a way that you're gonna be successful and hide good. And
yeah, but that's like finding a rock pile and throwing like a jitterbug over it. That's the rock pile's 20 foot deep.
Fish
you know what I'm
it
saying?
properly.
Like, you gotta still figure out.
Oh, dude,
different stuff.
Then you got like. Do you ever pay attention to barometric pressure for geese and ducks?
No, but I have definitely wanted to. I'm starting to really get into the very scientifical, is that a word?
Yeah, I mean, for on here.
All right, yeah, that's fine. I'm starting to get very like nitty gritty with it all, with like the research on birds and what birds we're even shooting, or what this means, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely a thing that I've looked into, and I know I should look more into with it all.
You should, dude. I'm a big component of barometric pressure, so if that your graph's at like 31,
mm-hmm.
and I'm on a boat every day. I'm with my other job, and then on my free time.
Was there an app for that, or what?
Any weather app, you just scroll and it'll show your.
It has that. Okay.
It'll have your barometric pressure. So like you'll say you're sitting at 31, Dude, I'll be driving on the lake, and all the seagulls in the lake are literally sitting on the water. You won't see a bird or duck. Don't get me wrong. There are going to be a few
Getting pushed around, whatever.
still moving. A boat drives by, or in the marsh,
Right.
someone walks by, or a coyote, or whatever. I have found with that when you get in that mid to high, 30 and above, the duck hunting is struggling because usually with the high pressure system, you have high sunny skies, low wind. The low pressure systems, like when you get into like 29, like that mid 29 range, I'm going duck hunting and goose hunting, or I'm going bass fishing or walleye fishing. But then you drop too low, you get into like 28. Now you have, and I know barometric pressure affects fish because it affects their swim bladder.
See, that's wild.
Yeah, like I know for a fact that it affects them, but barometric pressure for birds, that's just been what I've observed. I've seen more. There's more ducks.
It definitely has something to do with even the migration side of everything, because people say north winds are going to be flying down. Well, 20-mile-an-hour north winds in certain circumstances, they're not going to be flying. You know what I mean? There's
like you think they should be, but they're not.
Well,
You're
for
what the
birds
heck?
wise, you get too much of a north wind, they're fighting that on their backside. You want that 5 to 10 to 15 tops,
Yeah.
where
Yeah,
they're just sailing, cruising. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
Yeah. What I know you said you had some questions. You had some things written down. Did we touch most of them?
the only thing I didn't bring up was the Wisconsin sea duck thing.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because that interests me too, because that's the first time I heard.
Yeah.
about
So I'll bring. We'll talk about this real quick, and then I don't know if you have any final thoughts, and then because we've been going on.
it. Yeah.
This for
No, we're good. We're good.
All right, so I was listening to a biologist out of Wisconsin, and he was explaining that since our lakes and the Great Lakes are not freezing entirely in the winter, that we're seeing a higher volume of sea ducks, which are now transitioning to also eating our mollusks, like our zebra mussels and any of our local mollusk type of food. So he was expecting within the next 5 years that you're going to start seeing more of your scoters, eiders, more
Which is crazy.
the eastern coast duck.
I have seen more and more, or heard of more and more. I mean, granted, I'm not out here in the water all the time. But
No, you're mainly inland, but
yeah. I mean, it is a very interesting thing. But I have also over the years, have been seeing more snows and specks and blues.
dude, we shot
and,
snows in October. That's wild.
Like I said, second weekend of September down here, we've seen snows. Last year we had specks and blues that I didn't even know about that were in the field. That I know for sure were in the field.
Dude,
but
we were shooting specks out of missing specks out of a field in Ohio in January 2 years ago.
It's
we're,
wild.
We're gonna start seeing more birds, but last year I saw white-winged scoters, black scoters, and I saw one common eider, and of course the long tails. But
I mean, it's pretty exciting stuff, though.
so I don't know, but yeah, anything else you want to finish up with?
Not really. I think that we definitely need to get you back up here whenever
Okay.
you get a chance. I mean, whether it be come up for the night and we hunt in the morning, whatever it may be. I don't know. We have Port
Dude.
Lule Waterfowl Festival going on this weekend, so I don't know if you're coming back up at all this weekend at all.
I'm going to Florida.
Lucky you.
Yep, so I'll be in Florida for a few days because I don't know.
I would definitely be very interested on, being in here with you and Troy
Yeah.
talking. So I'll have to set that up, but we can talk about that afterwards. But
yeah, if you want to get me back in, I mean, we've been going on. We're almost on 3 hours.
yeah, it's crazy.
I didn't even realize it. So
Yeah, no, and you got to drive home still.
Yeah. it's all right.
So any plugs you want to plug in? Any social media? I know you said you're kind of off social media. Any
Well, I'm gonna bring it
charters
back.
or anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring back my Instagram page. It's Captain Nosy.
Okay.
If you also want, just hit up Kyle, and you guys want to go bass fishing, hit me up. You want to go walleye fishing and bass fishing, hit me up. But if Kyle, I hope we get out hunting this year, man.
No, we
Thanks
will.
for
We will.
I appreciate you asking me because I'm an average Joe.
No,
But
I like I said, I
I'm not a
truly
professional
missed
by any
that.
means.
Missed like you and Sean and everybody out last year, and this year we'll definitely figure it out. We'll definitely figure it out.
Cool, man.
I just want to say thanks to GK Calls for helping us out as much as those guys do over there. Great calls. I can't say every company that we work with, like I said, is just absolutely the best. I mean, they help us out. We help them out, and we're running products that we stand behind. That we got trust in them and everything. But so GK Calls, Gator Decoys. I don't know if you've seen Gator Decoys or not.
No, I haven't.
You heard GK Calls.
Oh, I know
obviously.
GK.
Yeah, GK's huge.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, Gator Decoys. They got some poles that are expanding poles, so it's not more of clips.
Okay.
They have a dial where you can extend that pole or bring it back in. So
Like
there's no more
spinners?
force spinners in the
Okay,
fields or
yeah.
marsh, whatever. So like, say you go in there, the water level's a little higher.
Yeah.
No more pushing the button in and snapping it in. You just do the dial and you can push it up and down. Love their stuff. They're coming out with some big stuff coming up soon. Where I really can't talk about it, but they got a lot of things coming down the line that I'm excited for.
I'll check them out, dude.
Migra, I love shooting those guys. I don't know if you guys shoot them down there or if you know anybody that shoots them, but we absolutely love shooting their shells. This is probably going to drop after Point Moulet Waterfall Festival, but hopefully we seen you guys there. You stop by the booth and we'll have the cornhole board set up and everything else.
I've shot Migra boys. Shoot it.
Yeah, I don't know. I love shooting their stuff. I love the people over there. Like I said, it's the people that you build a relationship with. You like they just stand behind you. You stay behind them, and
Good people, good company. And
yeah. But no, I think that's it.
All right,
I'm
man.
probably forgetting somebody, but until next time, I appreciate it.
All right, man. Well, see you.
Appreciate you, Dylan.
Appreciate you.